since the last session.
That he
prefers Zephyr Hills.
That's crazy,
Hey,
bro.
you know,
imagine choosing poverty.
Yo,
Imagine.
Imagine. So I went over to Chipotle today. I had Chipotle, bro. I was like, yo, let me get a bottle of water. They brought us out to Zephyr Hills. I was like, this is my food, bro. This is my spot, bro.
They have food and water that'll send you right to the toilet.
Straight to the toilet.
You got beef with Chipotle?
The same thing.
You got beef with Chipotle?
I don't eat Chipotle anymore.
I don't have beef with Chipotle. My body got beef with Chipotle.
Chipotle
got beef with me. Welcome to another episode of the Holy Hood Podcast, where we help you navigate life, faith, and culture, all while trying to be a little more holy than the hood every day. I'm excited for the episode with y'all boys. Excited for the episode with all of y'all. Let's hop into it. It's about to be a good day.
You already know the real nigga coming out the so flow. And the flow wavy got a bolo. Oh no, looking like you running out of stamina. Call yourself an animal.
Now, this one.
Before we get started, we never say our names.
We gotta say our names?
I think, what if people join in and it's like,
I'm Malik. I'm Cole.
I'm Tariq.
And we're
brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five. Cut print.
That's our credibility.
Beautiful guys.
I'm Malik. I'm the pastor. That's Tariq.
The accountant.
And that's Leighton.
The rapper friend.
I'm not calling you Cole. Your mama gave you that.
I ain't gonna lie. Episode 1, I was just like, yo, I'm not calling you Cole. I was like, damn, I gonna do my dog like that, bro.
Get out of here.
Tariq only calls me when I'm with my music friend. Nah, because it'd be hell if they find out my real name. They'd be like, Leighton.
Y'all got aliases like the superheroes or something?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't
weird.
know how they real
It's a
names.
very interesting dynamic. You should have joined. You should show up one day. You'd be like, oh, his name. What's his real name?
Number one, rappers, y'all be up too late.
His real name's Jimmy. You know what they call him? Dirty. That's his nickname.
That's his rapper name?
No, I don't know.
He just made that up.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, we gonna hop into this week. This one kind of like, touchy.
For who?
For me.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So we're talking, this topic is, we're talking about like, dear younger me. And so I asked the question, if you had to write a letter to your younger self, what are some things you would have in this letter?
First of all, my letter would have to be short and sweet because I know he wouldn't read it.
Starts with, listen here, little nigga.
Oh, that's great.
I think that just like points to a whole bunch of problems, but continue.
I would just have key points, honest. I mean, in all honesty, bro.
What's a bullet points?
Yeah, bro. I'd be like, look, it's you from later on. Listen, I would be very direct with myself because that's the kind of stuff I would pay attention to. I don't like beating around the bush, so I'd have to be very direct. I would tell myself to be very intentional and more assertive with some of the things that I wanted to work towards. I was very, I don't want to say hesitant, but I was more just waiting for, I guess, I don't want to say permission, but more like an easier way to do it with, like, do things without, like, a lot of backlash. And I feel like if I would have just been able to push past a lot of that, I would have been a lot better off. So I would kind of just tell myself to just deal with what you got to deal with, whether or not you like the situation or not, and kind of just push through.
That's dope. What would your letter say, Tariq?
Well, my younger self went through quite a bit. We always make the joke that my life's a Tyler Perry movie. But it actually depends on what age he reads it, because different ages would read differently.
Let's go back 10 years.
10 years.
That was perfect. That was like exactly who I was talking to.
Let's go.
Okay. All right.
That was
Bet. So 10 years. God, I would be 18. I'm thinking like, oh yeah, 12, 13. No, I'd be 18. I am old. Mighty God. Okay. Anyway, what would I say to my 18-year-old self? One, leave that girl alone.
I would do it. Stop.
And then, to my 18-year-old self, I would say, one, leave that girl alone. Two, don't be afraid to be great. don't be afraid to like sacrifice nights to put in the work to be your best self. I think a lot of times I wanted to be like that. I was like, oh yeah, like I'll just be that cool guy that just gets by off pure talent and that doesn't really put in the work. And while like I was no stranger to hard work, I think it would have behooved me I didn't always put in like my best effort. Like I remember, like, for example, like in school, right? Like school math came very easy to me, right? That's why I chose the profession that I did. But I remember sleeping in like my integrated math 3 class and like waking up and getting like A's on tests. Like just sleep. I'm talking about in the front row, like my like the teacher would wake me up, Tariq, wake up and solve this question. I get up, look, I'm like, what page are we on? I open up the textbook, read, take 2 minutes, solve the problem, right? I never took that raw talent and honed it. I skated by on a lot of raw talent that I think I could, or even like with football, right? I didn't always work out like I should have been. I just got by on like, oh yeah, you're kind of cool. Like you're kind of good at this. Like you're good enough. You can go play in college or whatever division it is. You can go play. Yeah, and it ended up biting me in the behind, which is why I didn't play as much in college because I didn't put in the work, right? And then also the last thing, I would say like you're not the failures of your predecessors. Yeah, it just got real heavy. Okay. A lot of 18-year-old me really struggled with finding identity in who I was. And I thought for a long time that I was destined to be the things that I came from. And 18-year-old me was running not necessarily he wasn't running to anything. He was running from a lot though. So I was running from the failures of this person in my life, running from the hurt that this person caused me, running from the trauma from this situation. I wasn't necessarily, that was one of the reasons why I got up and went to Ohio, right? I got a opportunity to play sports at a higher level, but also that was the farthest that I could have gone. Cause I had a preferred walk on to some schools. I had a offer from a smaller school that was way closer in North Carolina, but I went all the way to Ohio because I was running from a lot. And I would tell him, face all of that. Because you gotta face it eventually. If I would have faced it at 18, I'd be a lot further along than I am now. But I would definitely say, bro, you're not the failures of, you're not destined to be what these people are proclaiming over your life. Take hold of like your own life and run towards something. You not necessarily run from something. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
What about you, Pastor? I say a lot. I think like much to Tariq's point, I feel like at 18 had a lot of raw talent in the things I get to do vocationally now. I just like hadn't accepted that that's what I was going to do. Like I didn't want to work vocationally in ministry. Like that wasn't the plan at all.
I remember that like, oh, I'm finna go work in tech.
Yeah.
IT.
Yeah, we were IT majors. So it wasn't a thing. And so I would tell myself like, hey, like, be comfortable being you. I think when you tell anyone that like, what are you going to do? I'm going to be a pastor. I'm like, okay. And I say like, when people tell me that, and I'm like, it sketches me out like, I don't really trust you. Like, and so for me, it was like accepting that. And also, but like you said, like working at some stuff. I think like I transferred to Bible college at 20. I would tell my 18-year-old self to go to school immediately. To like skip spending 2 years at BC, getting a bunch of credits I didn't end up using. And just go straight to undergrad, go straight to seminary. Like, I'm like, hey, no, you're going to do this. And you're actually going to be good at it. Like, you're actually wired to do this well. And so I didn't do that. I also would tell myself to, like, again, like to some of your points, like to not look for affirmation in other people. I think 18-year-old me was an angry little self-righteous butthole for a bunch of reasons. One of those reasons being like I had to keep telling myself I was good at things. Like nobody was telling me, and I was like, I know I'm good at this. And like nope, and like so, and for me, I think an 18-year-old me would have loved like some mentorship, would have loved somebody to like go alongside and to help model my life after what we would call it today, discipleship. Like would have loved it, didn't have it, and so
Not consistently, at least.
Yeah, facts.
I didn't have it at all.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And it was just me. And luckily, in those times, like, of course, you never want to go back because I developed some incredible skills that I use today. But I would tell myself to like to do it and to just not and like don't be afraid of being saved. Like, there's always this temptation of like, oh, I don't want to be too Christian. I don't want to look too saved. No, be too saved. Like, do it. Like, what are they gonna do? Fight you? No. And if they do, swing back. Like,
Or just call me.
or call a crazy person. And so I would tell myself, like it's okay, be you. Go hard for your dreams. There are some things I think I'd be a lot further along in if I had just gone hard.
Facts.
Big facts.
Like if I hadn't held
bro,
back,
facts, bro.
if I was just like, no, I'm gonna do this. This is what I feel to do. Let's knock it out. And I say this as someone who technically in my field is on the extremely young side. Like, I would still be further along.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy to think about. Yeah. What about you, producer Matt?
Oh,
dang, call me out.
right? And yes, him
I got it,
questions.
for real. When
Oh, I thought we
got
were
a
all
camera on me.
thought we were all sharing.
You're good.
Yeah, bro. Like, I think, like, a lot of stuff that you guys are saying, I think, are things that I would tell my younger self. I think at first it would be that, that you don't have to. You can be yourself and not model the trajectory of the past males in your lineage. Like there's like, and I feel like it was just the entirety of my life has been me trying to like break this like generational curse of like, hey, like my great grandfather was not there for his father, and like his father wasn't there for his father, and my pops like left when I was like 7. And it's like, oh, like everybody that I've seen, like I'm sure that they've had great intentions in their relationships with their spouses, but never and dealt with not having a father figure in their life growing up, and knew what that felt like, and probably said the same things that you were telling yourself, like, yo, I'm never gonna be like that person. And I think I grew up in a fear of like, yo, you're gonna fall into that exact same trap.
I feel that.
And I would tell my younger self, hey, like, just because they did that does not mean that has to be your story. And even in them doing that, that grace is sufficient. And that's not even just like, hey, grace as in like I have like a pardon, like, hey, I'm pardoning you from like XYZ. Like, it's not like a pardoning grace. It's like, hey, like there is grace to break what this is for you. And you can rely on this. And I could look even at my relationship currently with my current wife, which I absolutely love, and we talked about in the last episode. And in certain areas, I've seen where we've overcome things that like my parents or my great grandparents or my like couldn't overcome. Like even in the year line, like it's like, yo, they weren't even together for this long. Wow. And I feel secure in my relationship with my wife. It's not like we're not on like the rocks or like things are like whatever, like, yo, me and her are tight. So I definitely tell them that. I'd be like, yo, like, don't be afraid of the failures of your past ancestors, like of your father, of your grandfather, of your great grandfather. Like that doesn't mean that's you. Doesn't mean it's gonna be you. So yeah.
That's facts. So, like, in light of all this stuff, like, how do you think, if you could have given your younger self at least some advice, how do you think, like, your faith would have looked differently? Like, your Christianity, the outworking of your faith, how would that have looked differently if you could have just given yourself any advice? What could have changed? What could have been better? What may have been worse?
I think for me at least, it would have been a better experience. Like my walk would have been a better experience. I would have been more focused, so there wouldn't have been really much room for distractions and stuff like that. I feel like I'd also have a better discipline. That's really it. Because I find for me when I'm more purpose driven, I'm kind of more out the way and I'm kind of good with my graces and stuff like that. So if I had something to work towards, like an actual end goal,
Yeah.
would have been good.
That makes sense.
I think my faith would have looked. I do think I'd be a lot further along, and I wouldn't struggle with some of the things that I struggle with. But I would probably tell my younger self, bro, lean in as much as possible into your faith in Jesus Christ. Like just go for broke, like dive head in, like go. And I wouldn't have fallen into some of the things that I fell into. I wouldn't have tripped and bumped my head as many times if I and I know for a fact, like if I had like dove head first into like this thing called Christianity and really like loved God and worked at it and wasn't kind of like what you said, like not being afraid to be too saved. Like, I mean, like I think that would be one thing. I would also say like, yo, like don't be afraid to like there's nothing wrong with like being in the background. I think growing up so many times I was like, oh, like, well, why does this person get to sing lead and I don't? Or why does this person get the opportunity to preach and I don't? Or why does this person get the opportunity to do this and I don't? And it wasn't until that like years later that I was like, bro, like you needed to sit down. Like or if I had to rephrase that, I would say don't despise like the laying of the foundation, right? Like don't despise like learning and sitting down and being under people or being even behind people or being behind your peers, right? Like there's sometimes like there are people our age, I'm just like, dang, like he up there singing like during camp. I want to sing during camp, but it wasn't until years later that I finally got the opportunity to sing at camp, and people were like, you can sing? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of wild, right? So, but if I didn't have like that time to sit down and be underneath people and to learn and to put in the time in the background, I never would have been able to. I think if I didn't despise that time as much, like if I really leaned into it and leaned into the walk and leaned into the things that it was showing me, my walk would look a lot differently.
I agree. I think like you, like I think I'd like despise some preparation.
I'm impatient. That's the
Right.
thing.
Yes,
Like, it's just like-
that's it.
I'm
Being
very
just like-
impatient. I need results now or it's not working.
That's facts. Yeah, but I think that's a man. I wonder, is that a man thing?
I know impatient women. I don't know.
Yeah, facts.
Well, I guess to me, all of the patient people I can think of in my life are all women. So that's kind of why I thought. But yeah,
Well, I'm impatient for the things with me. Like me, I know my expectations for people aren't that high anyway. So
that's fair. Okay.
it's with me. Like I'm just like, bro, I should be better than this. Why is it taking so long? Like it's that kind of vibe.
Yeah, so like I think of like impatience, despising preparation. I think, and when I did lean into preparation, I got really exhausted from it. Like, so I used to, like, we'll go back to 18. I think I was writing a sermon a week.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was BC days, right?
Yeah, I was cranking out a sermon a week, and I had this old raggedy folder full of sermons.
The purple one.
Yeah, this old purple.
The purple
folder.
or green one.
It did change color
Because it got
it fell
Yeah, it kept falling apart.
he brought that thing
Everywhere.
You
Red
never
or
know.
shine. Slit.
And I
No.
said, I think even that was like me just like hoping for a shot.
Huh.
Yeah, because
Dang.
I remember you were just like, bro, I don't know when I'm gonna get my chance, but when I get this chance, I'm ready.
And it was that, but being ready for a race you never run is exhausting.
Wow.
And I think I got really exhausted. And so I would tell myself to actually believe that what I felt God was having me do, I was going to actually get to do it.
Dang, bro.
Like, and so like it was
Thermal
exhausting.
Can you say that again?
Yo, run that back
say it
like
for the
John
people,
and Margot.
you got to run that back.
And people always say it's like, you don't know, I never know what I say. But like, no, I tell myself to actually believe that like what God told I was going to do, I was going to get there. And so like to illustrate this point, when I got installed, I guess, as one of the pastors at the church I'm at now,
You almost slipped up.
right? But I didn't. Right? I've been preparing to talk for a long time.
I've been prepared. This is why you don't despise. You like it? I like it.
I said you lacking.
Oh no, I ain't never like it.
all right.
That's why you don't despise preparation.
Right? And so when I did, I remember somebody called me. I had been leading the youth ministry, or like leading alongside some people in the youth ministry for a while, and she called me because like the footage had aired, because it was during COVID. Footage had aired, everybody saw it, and she called me and like she like was congratulating me, and she explained to me how much her young people looked up to me, and she was like, they say when they like grow up, and if they do ministry, they want to do it like you do it. I got to the phone with her, and I bawled. Like, I was in my room on my futon because I got rid of my bed.
Futon.
I was on my futon, and I was bawling. I remember just saying to God, we did it. Like, but that was from 18, I was at that point 26? That's 8 years.
That's a long time waiting on a shot, bro.
Right? Like and there are people out there who are like 20 years in waiting on a shot. So I don't want to make
that's
my
true,
8
too.
sound like a lot.
Right, but you're
But yeah, but it was still my 8.
right.
And so, but it was just like, it was exhausting. But I think even where I am today, if I had leaned in and believed God for what he said, I would still be further along. Like, if I had just, like you said, if I had gone for broke, some people may think like I went for broke. I didn't go for broke.
Yeah, like there's less doubt. You step different.
Right? Like, if I had
Facts.
gone for broke, and if I wasn't afraid of casting a big shadow. One of my
That was
fears.
heavy.
That's a fact.
One of my, like, I knew I was good at some stuff. I was afraid of casting a big shadow. I didn't want other people to be upset with me. I didn't want people to think I was doing too much or extra. Or like, and so like, even hearing like people say like, well, why does he get to do this and I don't get to do it? I was like, I didn't want that. I didn't want to get in anyone else's way, so to speak. And I couldn't separate walking in purpose from pushing people out of theirs.
Whoa.
Dang, this boy, you
And like,
prep
in your
today.
bag
no,
today.
but like,
Sermon
and like
prep.
as an adult, I realized those are two different things.
Yeah.
But when I was down there in the trenches, like I was like, well, if I do this,
Then that
such and
person's
such
gonna
never has an opportunity to do it. Come on. So I would like, which is like, I always prided myself on being the quietest person in the room. And so like I was like, no, I'm not gonna say nothing.
You feel like you self-sabotage?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, in the fullness of time, the sabotage was good because I didn't get comfortable in a place where I shouldn't have stayed in the first place. But
The enemy wanted for evil, God turned around for good. Come on now.
that mic.
y'all are
Lies.
silly.
What we it? What we it?
But like no, like so like and like all, like we said, like all things work. Like
Yeah.
Come on, bring it
the,
home.
The sabotage was like I'm glad I didn't, because it would have made it harder for me to leave some of the spaces I had to leave to be who I am today.
Yeah.
I would have gotten too comfortable. I would have had too much there. And I know people today who have too much in some spaces and they can't leave. So in some ways, I'm glad, but also just looking back, I was like, man, like, if I had gone for broke, if I had given it my all, if I had not despised preparation, but instead like leaned all the way in, I think my faith would have been better, because I would have learned. I'm learning now to trust God. I could have learned over the course of the eight years before the couple, like, to learn to trust him more in those years. And so now I feel like I'm taking some classes I could have taken when I was like 20.
Boy, you was spitting.
Spitting. That's hard to follow. That's
I
hard.
got you.
No, go ahead, bro.
I don't got nothing to say.
Dang, boy.
What I look like talking after that? I could do the benediction.
But I will ask this. So we'll go beyond like age 18, last 10. Like, are there any recurring lessons that you kept having to learn, or tests you kept failing, that you think you could have saved your younger self time on?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll just go right. I'm learning indeed, like learning that today. So like I'm in a relationship now, really committed.
That's good.
The best one. He said that's.
I'm
good.
just saying, like, what can you imagine? Can you imagine if you said, "I'm not committed at all"?
Anyway, yeah, and like constantly like learning, like, like I remember she was asking me about a situation, and I was just like, nah, I can talk really well. So if you don't know, like my girlfriend, she's a lawyer, right? So it's hard to BS her. Hard to BS her, but I'ma try. I'ma try, cause I don't got a JD. She got a JD, but I think I got my JD. So I be trying, and she's like she'll ask me a question. It's like, yo, like, you didn't answer my question, and I'm like, no, but I did. And she's like, no, I asked you this, and I think for a long time, I struggled with being honest with myself. You can lie to other people, but it's even worse when you lie to yourself. You get what I'm saying? So like, and I really truly believe God placed her in my life. I believe it 100%. It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror when the reflection is not what you want it to be. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm proud of who I am. Yeah. But I also see all of the little broken things that are there. You get what I'm saying? Like, and and so when she asked me the question, I was like, bro, like, this is it. Like, I kept giving her the answer, and she just kept asking. And I ended up like, bro, stop. Like, I remember because it was uncomfortable, right? Like, I really felt like I was on the stand at one point. And she like stopped, and she was like, are you okay? Now, what I didn't say was that she had asked me previously before she asked, she was like, is this an uncomfortable topic for you? And I was like, no, lying to myself, right? Yeah. And so when she was like grilling me on it, it wasn't until like I had like snapped, and she was like, yo, like, you said this wasn't uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, maybe it is, right? Yeah. Maybe it is, right? So I would definitely tell my younger self, like, bro, like, if you're gonna lie to other people, but don't lie to yourself, bro. Like, don't deceive yourself, right? Like, the Bible says if a man if he hears the word and doesn't do it, he's like deceiving himself, right? And that's a lot of what I was doing. Like, I would hear something, but I wouldn't do it, and I'd be like, but I'm doing it, like I'm fake doing it, and it was really deceiving myself, or something would happen, or I wasn't honest with like my feelings, my emotions. For a long time, I thought you shouldn't have emotions, right? Because I didn't grow up with men like sharing deep emotions, right? Like saying like, hey, I'm older than you. This is how I feel about this. In my family, bro, like something happened, bro. You move on, right? Nobody ever talked about how they felt. If they did, it was on like a 1-to-1, a 1-to-1 thing. So I would be like, yo, like how you feel is valid and important. How the emotions that you have, number one, they're God given. Number two, they're valid. Like that if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Now, whether that's based on fact or whatever, that's a matter of debate. But how you feel is how you feel. And I would really say like, yo, like don't lie to yourself. Like don't say that something's okay when it's not okay. Or don't say that you're okay just because you want people to see this version that you have this version of you that you think people have of yourself, and you want to make sure you live up to the version that these people have in their head. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Am I making sense? Yeah. So it was like that. I would tell myself, be honest with yourself, bro.
Yeah. Thank you. You remember the question?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you!
I hate
I'm
you,
sorry.
bro.
I'm sorry.
I did talk a lot.
For me, it's interesting because I had more of a, I want to say, trust and vulnerability problem that kind of just led to a bunch of other like lash outs. There was no real like one specific thing. I feel like it just boils down because of that problem. I'll just do whatever. Like for example, I wasn't really, especially growing up, I wasn't the type to, I have a problem, hey, can I talk to you? Like, I wasn't that type. And then if someone was to come to me like, hey, what's wrong? I'll be fine, because why do you want to know? You feel me? Like, it's just that kind of situation where like I either one didn't even know how to process what I was feeling or thinking or experiencing, but I didn't even know like who I can go talk to really sort it out, because then I'll talk to somebody and then we end up talking about their problem, and I'm just like, nah, nigga, what are we doing now? Like, you feel me? So it's like, I'm like, I'll give you the ear. I'm not going to waste my time to talk to you about it, because we're not going to come to a solution, and I'm just going to probably end up being worse than I was before. So it was just like, I was dealing with all that, and whatever, like, I guess, activity or thing I was doing, like, that was kind of just like a coping mechanism, I guess, to deal with all that. So, I mean, I would kind of just tell myself to find like that core group that I could really trust in and find like some type of camaraderie in, so I could really like let go and figure out what it is that's been, you know, like the root of the problem, essentially. Yeah.
Putting Band-Aids on gunshot wounds.
There we go. Band-Aids on bullet wounds. And so, like the last kind of sort of rabbit trail I want us to kind of think about here is, what encouragement would you give to your younger self? And then looking back on 10 years ago, what are you really thankful for?
What encouragement would I give?
Encouragement can be like, you got enough money to pay for school. You make it. The family situation works out. Like, what encouragement could you give your younger self? Or like, hey, you're okay. You're enough. So what encouragement could you give to your younger self? And then like looking back, I was just kind of sort of like just and on some gratitude. Like, what are you really thankful for? Like, because I don't think we often spend enough time to like look back on where we are and where we come from. Instead, we kind of sort of always looking forward. So, what are you thankful for, and what like encouragement would you give to your younger self? I'll go. These dudes are deep in thought.
I told y'all I'm fried.
I think I would tell I think I said it earlier, like you make it. Like the things you are praying to God for at 18, they do happen. Right? Like God sees you through. And it's not just vocational stuff, but it's just like he sees you through the trial. He sees you through the mess, and that you matter. Like, you're enough. And so you can live life knowing that. You don't have to prove it to nobody. You're going to be better than anybody else. Like, you being you, and of course you are allowed to take up space. Like, I think I would tell myself that. And looking back, I'm super thankful for God like granting me some of the things I prayed for, and granting me a lot of the things I didn't pray for, and not granting me a lot of the things I did pray for.
That's a big
Right? Like, I'm super thankful for like everything in my life today. I have a phenomenal wife. I'm part of a wonderful community. I have great friends. There aren't many people in the world who can say like their friend group is over a decade old.
Damn, it's been that long for real. Yeah. God damn.
Right? Like there are like I'm thankful for that. And all of that in mind, like I encourage myself, like, hey, like you have a lot of blessings. Like you might not have what you want, but you have a lot of blessings. And even as you guys like wrap up thinking, I wrap up this point, it's just like as we were talking about this episode and I was just thinking, I was like, I've been in a season of life now where I am really trying my best to focus on thanking God for what I have. Because what I have today, I probably prayed for a couple years ago or a couple months ago. I think we can get so caught up in praying for the next thing that God's like, well, I gave you the last thing you asked for. And you're mad I haven't given you the next thing you're asking for. Like, well, calm down. Like the last thing you asked for, you got. And I think we can end up in this real tug of war with God. And it's just like, leads to ungratefulness, which leads to discontentment, which leads to just a lack of peace. But anyway, so like, again, what encouragements and would you give to your younger self? And what are you thankful for?
Oh,
Go
no,
ahead.
you got it. Go ahead.
All right. Kind of encouragement I would give my younger self. I mean, I would just say you found a way or like you see some type of pathway. Because when I was younger, I was dealing with a lot of like just wondering like what the hell my place is just in life and in the church because church ain't make no sense to me. It was just a bunch of like to me growing up, church just seemed like a place where people come to worship God, and it's just a bunch of rules that really didn't make sense to me. So it was like I didn't really see where I was gonna fit at church. But in a way, I didn't even think I was gonna like church growing up. But you kind of found a love for it. Like I honestly go more Sundays than I usually thought I would when I got to this age. But that even I have a certain direction in life that I want to go towards that I'm just like I'm grateful for because that was really like a heavy thing. I had no clue what I wanted to do, so I'm happy for that. And what was the other one?
What are you thankful for?
Boom. I'm thankful for, honestly, the community that I've built over time. Like, they joke about it a lot. A lot of people know me, but not really. It's just Broward, you feel me? It's just Broward. That's how it is. But I like the community, especially, like, the church community, because I've made friends and friendships, family, my members, not family, but that I'm able to just be myself freely without having to worry about any pushback. Unless, like, obviously, I'm rubbing them the wrong way, which I could do sometimes because I'm extra. But, like, they allow me to be me. Like, I learn from them. I don't know if they learn from me. Probably nigga stuff. But at the end of the day, like, it's beneficial on each side. Like, I don't think I can ever come and chill with, like, these niggas especially and feel drained or anything. I'm always feeling refreshed and stuff like that. So I want to thank God for that community.
We refresh you.
Hell yeah. That Febreze love, you know?
You can call me Oasis.
That's up in Hills love, baby.
Hey, stop it. You just
That
ruined
natural spring love.
it. We about to, yo.
You defiled our moment.
Like, bro. First of all, yeah, this nigga trying to ruin your Oasis with Zephyr Hills. Yo, can you imagine somebody going to pour some Zephyr Hills in like a disrespectful pollution?
To call Captain Planet. Anyway.
Captain Planet.
It's the most refreshing love.
Yeah, if I had to give myself any encouragement, it would be it works out. Yeah, kind of like you, like, bro, like, it works out. Like, oh, also, I would also encourage my I think, yeah, this more than the last thing. Don't be afraid to walk away from situations that are hurting you. I think a lot of times I held on to situations, and I did it for a long time because I so didn't want to like. I was scared of being alone. So like I held on to certain situations and I held on to people and I was trying to fill a void that like that I thought like if this person left it would just kill me, right? Like that's the end of it. But I would tell myself like, no, you're not gonna die. Like you're gonna like yeah, you might be a little sad, but you're gonna live. Like it's not the end of the world. And to like trust yourself because all of the things that I'm talking about, I kind of knew at some point early on that I was like, it's a no, bro. Like this situation is not gonna work. You're not gonna get this job. This job is not gonna be successful. Whatever. This relationship is not gonna work. But me being hard headed, I was like, no. I fix anything. Fix it, Felix Florence. Fix it, Florence. Right. So just
Who calls him that? Was that what you call yourself?
no. It was just a joke. All right, we can
Go to racket.
but nobody calls me that. It was just a joke. Anyway, yeah. So I was just saying, like, bro, like I felt like, oh yeah, I can fix it. Like I can make it work. I can do this. So I would encourage myself, bro, like, don't be scared to like walk away from hurtful situations, and don't let like your fear of like letting this person or letting this situation go that like you harm yourself. One of the things that I am thankful for is I'm thankful for all the closed doors. All the doors that I wanted to be open, all the windows I wanted to be open, all the opportunities that I thought I had, that I thought I wanted that were closed. Like I thank God for that. Also thank God for giving, kind of like you said, like giving me the things that I didn't even know I needed. I think back to like pandemic, bro. Like I was in Ohio struggling, like really struggling. I think I called like Malika Layton probably like every day. I was like, bro, like I miss home. I miss my people. I miss all of this stuff. So like I'm thankful for the opportunity that like God gave me the things that I did pray for, right? Like the community, the friendship, the camaraderie. I think, hold on, wait, you can edit it. Wait, Darius Rucker has a song, and I have to quote it because country music.
Thank you guys for
callback.
watching Holy God. This message was brought to stuff we don't do.
You guys are mean.
Oh my God.
Put out his phone and quote country music right now.
Bro, I'm telling
Bro,
you.
it's
like,
a
not
callback,
even
bro.
no
Nah,
Lil
go ahead.
Wayne.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, Tariq.
You're an enabler.
Yeah, so Darius Rucker has a song, and it says, for every stoplight I didn't make, for every chance I didn't take, all the times I went too far, all the girls that broke my heart, all the doors that I had to close, all the things I knew but I didn't know. Thank God for all I missed, because it led me here to this.
Bro, why do
So-
I know that song?
Because it's fire. That's why you know the song. But yeah, so he basically says like, bro, I thank God for all the things that I missed, because if I didn't miss out on all of those things, I wouldn't have the blessings that I have today.
I don't like that version.
You don't like what version?
You could have said it without the lyric.
Yeah, you could have said that.
I mean, okay.
Let's see. Where I'm from, they say for every mountain.
Yo, I saw it coming from a mile away, but I didn't want to say nothing just in case I was for every trial.
Come on, for every trial you've seen me through.
He said, where I
Come on, bro.
for every mountain. Yeah, it's the same thing though. Same thing. But since all of you are country music haters, I figured I would use the country music reference.
Hey.
Bro, you know why I'd rather not listen to
We're not
country,
gonna say it.
bro.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay.
I think that's hilarious. It's very tempting. I mean,
All right, y'all know how we do. All right, let's get up out of here. Are all hearts and minds clear? We good?
Yeah, man.
Y'all good? Yeah, they good.
Okay, he really didn't check his mind, right? Anyway. Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Holy and Hood. I've been Malik.
I'm Tariq.
I'm whatever. Layton or Cole.
whatever, bro. So excited
don't know
to
himself.
continue learning and growing with you guys. But listen, as you heard us talk, I also want to affirm in you that you are seen, you are valued, you are loved. Whatever the period of waiting that you find yourself in, God is good. He will see you through it. And you will look back in a few years, as we look back now over our younger years, and thank God that He has got you this far. Y'all have a good one. We out.